Okay, right, so we're dealing with positional escapes. Okay. Frog takes side control up here, nice and tight, he's got pressure on the head. So turning in and getting this leg in is going to be a problem. Okay? So, we've been talking quite a bit over recent months about this more than one direction thing going. So we're going to play on that a little bit just to get this going, and then we're going to look at dealing with like knee on belly and maybe a couple of other options from there. We'll see how we go over time. Okay. So he knows that my main objective here is to get this leg back through and create space between me and him. So if I give him the obvious and try and turn straight into, he can resist that quite easily. We get this butting head thing that we talked about before. Okay? So what I want to try and do here is create a little bit of a reaction from him. Okay? So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to turn that way. I'm going to use this arm as a bit of an underhook against this armpit, and I'm going to use my hip just to block his knee. So that I don't want to do this and Rob shuffle with me and me end up stuck on my side. Because that's me in a bad position with my arm potentially vulnerable. So what I want to do is I kind of escape my hip back a little bit to do this. And that's all I'm going to do. It's a little snatch to there. Because what I'm trying to promote from him is for him to try and get back to that side control. And as he does, I'm going to turn with him. And immediately put these barriers in. So I've got my hand across his hip, his stomach. I've swung this in, and I bring my knee straight over to put my knee and elbow together. I've created an obstacle. He's no longer got side control. It's very unlikely he's just going to sit there and he's going to try and deal with it. But if I bring these together, he's got a barrier he's got to deal with. He can't just shuffle in and close the gap. Okay, so we've changed the dynamics of the position straight away. Okay? So, even this, going from here, we talked about this in the session we did yesterday with a couple of guys. If Rob has his head up, it makes this option really easy for me to use. To elevate his head, start to create space. So if he knows that's in, he's going to tuck his head. So although it makes it difficult now for me to get into his neck properly to push his head up, because he's got his head forward, his balance is tipping. So it makes this option easier. Okay? So if I snatch quick enough here, I can even come back to an underhook. So from this position I can be coming up straight away, tucking the head into the back, and looking at either taking the back or tipping the person over. It's creating that instinctive reaction. If somebody pushes you, you feel you're going to fall forward, you try and correct it. That's how throws happen, isn't it? You create an opposite reaction from your partner. So I'm not trying to actually roll him over. I'm not trying to pick him up here and roll him, because it's going to be too slow and it's something that he can measure. He can react with it and keep a pace. So what I want to do from here, the head's tucked in, just a quick snatch. And I extend from there up, elbow in. So the thing that we've done for getting half guard back before, I'm using it here. That's straight away if I wish to go for the back. I'll be threading the collar and I'll be heavy here. I just tuck over his leg a little bit as well. So for him to turn into me, I've made it difficult. The main objective is I'm out of side control. If you create a space, if you leave your arm in here, yeah, that knee comes in. So even if you get to this, where you go from there will partly depend on how he moves, okay, and what I decide I want to do next. We'll cover a couple of options in a minute. I want you to get to this position where you get your knee in, or if you find that you can, if the underhook is your preference, you shove it up. So as I get here, I'm not just trying to move in. Some of you are big enough and strong enough to do that, but I want to pull out with my heels, so I come out as I shove him up. We were talking about this yesterday. Start with that initial movement. As I move this way, I don't want to go all the way over here to try and do this all the way back. The person's not necessarily going to move enough to allow me to do that, but I'm doing all the work, I'm doing all the moving. So if I can move my hip back a little bit, snatch the person that way, as his energy goes back, I swap my feet out, and I come away. I'm pushing him. So what I'm trying to do is move them part way that way, move me part way that way, to give me the maximum gap. Not me move myself, or me just move them. That does happen, however, if your training partner is He's a lot bigger than you. You're likely to move yourself. For example, if I put Sam with Rad or with Alex, who's going to have a solid base and they're going to be planted, he'll move himself away from them. But when you're on a similar weight bracket, both of you should move. You should move them away a little bit and you should move away from them. Okay? So tuck that knee in, or if you find that as you've done that, the underhook is your preference, look at scooting out to the back a little bit. Okay? Don't worry about jumping on the back and taking the hooks. Just get out there, hang your weight on. We'll look at a couple of options in a couple of minutes. So just have a few goes at that. Remember, little move one way. What I'm trying to create is, by sending him this way, I want him to do, even if he's got good bases, I want him to do this. I want to put his weight back. And it's him putting his weight back is what I'm going to use to help turn him. Because he's got no force against me and we're both moving in the same direction. That makes my choice easy. I'm not fighting against him. So like I said, if you go the first thing, I know you want to turn in and get this leg through, and I just brace up and I'm prepared, ready for that, you're going to find it hard work. And if you do get it, you're going to be shattered to do a lot of anything after. This you're going to create a reaction. Because if they've got a good grip and you snatch quick enough, they're going to go bang. The hips come up, if that head goes down, the hips come up, there's still a space that you can then use. Okay? So again, we can look at how to exploit that. Timing is a key thing with this, because if you're too slow with the turn back, we'll lock you off again. It's finding the right point to turn back in. And that is largely dependent on not giving it too much. I'm not trying to send the person over here. What I'm trying to do is rock him off his hips so he feels he's got to put his weight back. So it's kind of finding, it's like learning to drive, finding that biting point of the clutch. How much is enough? And unfortunately that will vary from partner to partner. The limb length will affect how the base sits down. Your experience will depend on how the base sits down. Flexibility will depend on that. And all these things will make a difference from person to person. It's just getting that notion in your head. It's a snatch back. Just block his leg with my hip. I don't want him to do that. Because all I've done is I've turned slightly on my side and he's come with me. I want him to be falling over me to want to